Hello everyone, good morning. We're gonna finally learn who DLC number 5 is. That's pretty exciting. I was just doing some testing because I just got OBS again. And I've always had troubles with it because...
There it comes! Let's go! Heal!
You don't finish him up yet? Is that it?
Come on! This is it!
Now witness true power!
1 minute left. So... I mean, honestly, whoever it is, I don't care. Like, I'm just excited for a new character, you know? I have my wishes, but I also don't have any expectations. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, right? Alright, it should start any second now. I'm pretty excited. I wonder if they're gonna reveal like some of the new characters past the first DLC, Fighters Pass. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just gonna stay on the one character though, and then he's probably gonna shadow drop it. Oh boy, here we go.
皆さんこんにちは。
Hello everyone, I'm Masahiro Sakurai, director of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from Sora Limited.
今回はなんと事前にファイターが何の種
We'll
類
be
だか
using
わからない
today's showcase to give you a first look at our next DLC fighter.
実はこの
Actually, hardly anyone knows what we'll be announcing today, even among Nintendo staff worldwide.
開発者の中
The
で
development team and other stakeholders have been working on this fighter with the utmost secrecy,
故に
which means other Nintendo staff around the globe will only start making preparations for release after the showcase has been broadcast. So, it won't be available right away. Please understand that it will take a little time.
That makes sense.
I think even many Nintendo employees will be surprised to see this and say, wow, really?
まあ最新の情報に
So,
今まさに
let's all share in the fun of getting our hands on the latest information.
ただし
However, even if you say, that's not the character I was picturing, I hope you don't have any hard feelings.
Please don't be
We've
upset.
prepared a fighter reveal video. Once it starts, I think you'll figure out who it is pretty quickly.
それでは
Now, let's do this.
Alright, I guess we're gonna see who it is. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh my god, wait, really? Are you serious?
The time has finally come to unleash the forbidden spell of Zaharas upon our enemies!
Three Houses character. Wow. I mean, we know that there's more coming after. I'm just surprised. And it's Byleth. It's gotta be Byleth.
What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap? As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be.
Wait, will Sothis be with Byleth?
Are you prepared to die?
Wow, I'm
I
really
thought
surprised.
as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet... there is no other choice.
I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses is amazing. Like,
You
I haven't
must
finished it
join
yet.
Smash.
Oh my god.
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
Sothis, damn, just get out the gate, man. Wow, that's amazing. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So
join.
joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself!
Oh my god. Okay, I mean, yeah, no. I kind of. Ooh. Oh wait, there we are. Wow. I am really surprised. That's probably why Sakurai said, like, don't be disappointed. Byleth. Okay. Oh.
So you return, and sooner than expected.
Wait.
I see. Too many swordsmen, are there?
Oh my god, Byleth
And
is an assist
you
trophy.
wield the sword as well? What will you do?
Hello, female Byleth.
So that is how you plan to win the day? So be it. I reward your cleverness this time.
Are we gonna get all... Are we gonna get... Wait a minute.
How is this?
Is Byleth gonna use other weapons? Oh my god, Byleth is gonna use other weapons! Oh my god! Oh my god! Also, apparently Byleth can fly. Okay.
Of anyone, you should be able to handle the hero's relics.
Damn! Okay, well, that makes sense now.
Arid fire, strike with superior reach.
That makes sense. Okay, so this is how they're gonna answer to the sword.
Use Amir's overwhelming power.
Wow. Damn.
Unleash the blinding speed of Failnaught.
Ooh.
Along with the sword of the creator. Each weapon matches a direction.
Okay. Interesting. Oh wow, that's the stage. Ooh,
Your will and mine be now as one.
Wait, is it a transforming stage?
To you, both sides of time are revealed. Through Smash,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
show the world.
So they really ended with a Nintendo character. And I kind of thought they were gonna end with a third party, but you know, this is cool. Oh yeah, I also love their render. The render's pretty cool.
Yes, there you have it. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses is joining the battle.
Okay.
Fire Emblem Three Houses was released just last summer, so it's still very new. Even so, you'll soon be able to play as them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This release is planned for January 28th. You'll have instant access if you have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass, and it will also be available for purchase individually.
Okay.
In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or Three Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry.
Knowledge of the fighter.
First off, what is Fire
What is
Emblem?
Fire Emblem?
It's really hard to pronounce in Japanese. The producer said it's okay if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you, so please be careful.
Fire Emblem.
The series' first entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990. You could say it was a pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly tactical. Well, it's tactical in that it simulates combat. You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game, or in other words, a game in which you advance units across a grid and battle.
I'm surprised she needs to teach us about Fire Emblem, even though it's so big.
When we talk about tactical games of that era, there were lots of ones in which you command tanks, aircrafts, and so on. But Fire Emblem was unique because each unit was a specific character, sort of like in role-playing games. Plus, something made it stand out from other Nintendo products. Characters could permanently die. That's pretty direct language though, so perhaps we should just say they're sleeping with the fishes. But really, if a character fell in battle, you'd lose that unit. They'd be gone and you couldn't use them again.
Yeah. I know how classic mode is brutal.
Recent entries in the series maintain this concept of permadeath to some degree in classic mode and what have you. But a lot of games now allow strategic withdrawals, so to speak.
Yeah. That's what I do.
In the older games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary.
Yeah, those old games were brutal.
The game's stories are told like chronicles of war, with increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios. Several characters also appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and 6 of the 7 can use a counterattack. It's their down special.
Except for Robin.
There's actually a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's turn. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn.
Right, that makes sense.
And now, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the 17th game in the series.
Yeah, 17.
People who aren't Japanese in particular might be thinking, 17 games? There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games.
Yeah.
Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge. I'll give it a try.
暗黒竜と光の剣、外伝、紋章の謎、聖戦の系譜、トラキア776、封印の剣、烈火の剣、聖魔の功績、双縁の奇跡、暁の女神、新暗黒竜、新紋章、覚醒イフ、ヒーロー、エコーズ、風化節。
There you go, 17.
They count heroes? Oh, and that's what that's.
今、変な数え方してます
So you saw how I was counting in a weird way, right? I was counting in binary.
つまり、これが全部
This is 0. Fold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2. Then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you get 16. Add 1 and you get 17. Awesome, isn't it?
That's pretty cool.
You can actually count up to 31 on one hand.
Wow.
And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023. If you've given up counting the knots in a tatami mat, you could always give it a go. What is Fire Emblem Three Houses? In Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Byleth, and the female version is called Beresu, but in English they share the same name, Byleth. Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses. Once you've chosen a house, you guide them through their school life, and, well, you end up fighting the other houses. After a certain incident, 5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their regions. It's a very sad game in which your former allies become enemies, turn hostile, and try to kill you. To understand the concept of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release. I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter. I did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference.
That must have been challenging, especially.
The game has multiple routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story. I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand.
Yeah, because I haven't even gotten to the timescape.
Before my demonstration, I should point out that when I did the Terry Bogard showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November.
Wow.
Therefore, some of what I'm about to show you might differ a bit from the finished version. As always, I'm using a special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go.
Yeah. There you go. Byleth. I'm surprised they ended on a Nintendo character.
So, this is our new fighter, Byleth.
And on a third party, but, you know, whatever. I'm not
Sadly,
saying
they're
I'm
lacking in mobility. It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them.
Really?
Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say that they're distance demon. The hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick. Each of the hero's relics is a weapon that appears in Fire Emblem Three Houses. They look like bones, and there's a reason for that. First, let's talk about the weapon Byleth uses for upward inputs, the Sword of the Creator. The Sword of the Creator here is Byleth's default weapon. They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip. They also use the sword for dash attacks and other moves.
Oh, I'm really surprised that Byleth is
For their up smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air. For their up air attack, they'll wave the whip sword overhead. The hit detection for this attack lasts for a relatively long time. The up special move is really something. The sword extends like this, allowing you to do things like this.
So he has So he has
It was
all
pretty
lines,
terrifying how I knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition,
Oh wow. Oh
you
my
can do
God.
awful things like this.
Byleth. Oh my god.
That said, you'll launch opponents upward until their damage reaches a certain percentage.
I mean, that makes sense.
Exceed that percentage and you'll need to be careful. You may find it helpful to mid-air dodge. I've already shown this, but you can also use it to latch onto edges. So that's the up special. Now for the sideways inputs. This is Erdvar, the same name as the weapon from Celtic mythology. First, we'll go through the forward and back air attacks. As you can see, they have a long reach. Like so. Marth's air attack keeps opponents in check too, right? If Byleth does the same thing, you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it. Next, the side smash attack. This also has a long range. It'll connect even from here.
Wow.
Also, if you add an upward tilt, it will be stronger.
Interesting. Okay.
And if you've knocked an opponent down, the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them. By the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful.
Okay.
The shaft part is weaker, so it's not suited to close combat. It won't deal much damage, and it won't launch opponents far. That's why, as a rule, you want to hit with the blade part aimed upward. Or downward in this case.
I thought it was like a special thing.
Next, the side special move.
I get it.
Byleth will simply swing the lance like this, but again, it has excellent reach. For example, even when your opponent is at this distance, it'll still hit.
God, this stage looks so pretty. Garrick Mach is such an amazing place. It's such a beautiful place, actually.
Actually, you can do a smash attack to charge forward a little, like this.
Huh.
But as you'd expect, it can be easily shielded, so be careful. Use it in midair and you'll carve up a large area. Returning to the side air attacks from earlier, they have great horizontal reach, but they lack verticality. So this complements it well, although you'll be vulnerable when you land.
Okay, side special.
Now, for the downward inputs. For these, Byleth will use an axe called Emir. It's named after a weapon that appears in Ugaritic myth. First, the down air attack. It really is strong.
Does that have a spike?
You can try for a meteor effect with this attack. Next is the down smash attack. A heavy swing of the axe back and forth. As you can see, it has a great deal of launch power. And for the down special, Byleth channels all their energy into a devastating strike.
So it becomes
It's a bold move, similar to the Falcon Punch, but here's what makes it different. When readying the move, there's a super armor effect, which allows you to withstand an attack. Just so you know, if you execute a Falcon Punch at about the same time, it plays out like this. It's a bit slower than the Falcon Punch, but due to the super armor effect, you have the advantage. Unless you get grabbed.
But yeah, grabbing.
Another notable aspect is that it lets you pass through platforms.
Oh.
While you're charging up, you can breeze past platforms like this to reach a lower area.
So just like cables.
It won't let you jump, but you could use it as a surprise attack. Also, you can turn around during the move. The swing takes a while, so if an opponent runs behind you during the move, you can quickly change direction. Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move, it can be really effective when used against a group of opponents. Plus, even if you fail to land a direct hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little.
So it has like a...
It's as if the quaking of the ground launches them.
Yeah, it has the same thing as...
By the way, earlier I talked a little bit about the other Fire Emblem characters' moves. I don't recommend using this down special against fighters from the Fire Emblem series, because you'll just get loads of counters.
Yeah.
It hits with that much power in a single attack. Counters can actually multiply the power of blocked attacks, and using easily anticipated attacks like this could just get you hit by counter after counter.
Yeah.
Next, we have the neutral moves.
So
The bow you use is called Fail Not, which shares its name with the bow from the Knights of the Round Table. It only appears in a few neutral moves. You've got the neutral air attack. This attack is similar to a move of Pit's and other fighters like him. It lets you spin the weapon around.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. I like it when you use the
It's
bow
also
itself
easy
as a
to
weapon.
create certain combos with it. And with the neutral special, you'll let loose an arrow. It seems pretty straightforward, right? But there are a few noteworthy aspects to this bow. First, the biggest difference between this bow and Link's is that once you enter the command, you can keep charging until it's ready. You can't release it partway through the charge, so when it does fire, the arrow travels at high speed.
Okay.
It's also very powerful. That said, you can still cancel out of the stance using the shield button. You can also change direction while in the stance. It works up until this point, but if you keep holding the button, you'll unleash a powerful arrow that looks like a beam of light.
So it's like the stab.
You can perform this move by keeping the button held down. You charge up power like so, charge a bit more, and then fire. But again, you'll need to take care when using this move.
I wonder what Byleth...
For one, when you've powered up the move to its max, there's no way to cancel out of it. Not even with the shield button. In other words, you're committed to firing it. So you see, a situation like this is pretty terrible.
Oh my god, the table.
Once you've entered the stance, you won't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Which means it's quite the risky attack to use against fighters who have a move with a reflector effect. But you could always just aim into the fray, as it is, after all, a long-range move, letting you deal a sudden blow to opponents. So you need to think carefully when using this projectile weapon. Byleth's final smash is called Progenitor God Ruptured Heaven. In the original game, there's a move called Ruptured Heaven. This is an enhanced version. As you can see, you team up with the mysterious Sothis and launch an attack together.
Gee, I wonder who this is. I like the detail of his hair.
Now, let's talk about the color variations. It's set up so that the default and odd-numbered color variations are male, while the even-numbered ones are female.
Okay. Makes sense.
However, the third, fourth, and fifth colors are, as you can see,
Okay,
reminiscent
that
of the
actually
house
does make
leaves.
sense. Ooh,
Those of you
that's
who played the original game will of course understand what I'm referring to. The sixth color is based on Sothis, who you just saw earlier.
Okay, cool. Well, and what's the other two?
And the seventh and eighth variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game's story.
Wow. No, I like
Didn't
that.
we see this variation in the final smash?
I really like that. I might use like the male, different hair colored alt instead of the regular one. Yep, Garrick Mach. There it is.
Next, I'll introduce the stage. For this one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game, Garrick Mach Monastery. This is how Garrick Mach Monastery is laid out in the original game. From these, we chose to have it cycle through the marketplace, reception hall, bridge, and cathedral all in one stage.
Okay, good choices.
It's the type of stage that rotates through different areas, such as these four. Let me introduce each of the guests that appear in these four areas. The first area is the marketplace. I think this is where a lot of people come to do their shopping. The guests that appear here are students of the Blue Lion's house, Dimitri, Dedu, and Ingrid. Not Dimitri, Dudu, or Ingrid. Their names are a bit difficult to say. They're largely from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Since it's a kingdom, that means they have a monarchy. For that reason, I guess you could say Dimitri's the future king. He had quite a difficult life and may or may not end up with just one eye. He's an unfortunate one, that one. There are vendors on either side. In the original game, these are important booths where you buy all sorts of things, but here you can break them, you see.
Why would you break the booths? They work
If
so
you do
hard.
break them, the stage will expand to the left and right.
Oh, there's the guy who's like...
I wonder where
"There's
people will
nothing to
buy their
record."
supplies now.
Yeah, there's the guard.
And in the background, you can see the gatekeeper. You often pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you end up talking to him a lot. Moving through these areas is possible thanks to this mysterious platform. Just when it seems like you've come to a stop,
Wow, that was an amazing...
you'll come crashing back down. We've broken through the ceiling and slammed into the building.
Oh, of course they add Dorothea.
And the guests in the reception hall are Edelgard, Dorothea, and Petra of the Black Eagles. Take note, it's not
Petra's
spelled
really like
Edelgard.
Starfire, where she says, like,
They're from the
"I am
Adressian
the
Empire."
having of the pleasure, you know.
And as
It's
such,
like
they
that
embrace their
speech.
military
It's so
might.
stupid, but it's so funny. And of course they had to add...
Edelgard is one of the characters who is central to the conflict.
Yeah, Dorothea is...
Depending on the path you take, she'll go through some terrible ordeals.
Although I love the voice actress.
You'll notice there are prominent chandeliers above the stage. It's possible to knock them down.
Oh my god.
However, Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other fighters, though. So, it's nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go, I made it. And
Yeah,
you can knock it down.
That means Byleth can do it. You just need someone else to do it.
Also, you can break this table. Like so.
Yeah. Why? I mean...
Just like the sign that reads Furin Kazan in the Suzaku Castle stage, it can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range.
That's so funny, but it's so not necessary.
Next up, the bridge. The camera rotates 90 degrees, creating this long area. It's very wide indeed.
Yeah! There's the golden deer. There's Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence.
It's similar to the bridge of Elden stage. The guests are from the Golden Deer, Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence. They belong to the Leicester Alliance.
Oh, that's awesome. Hilda's stance is so funny.
Because it's an alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members. And Claude is the sharpest of the bunch. Incidentally, both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the fourth title in the Fire Emblem series. I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap.
Yeah.
The naming process must be tough. Hey, it looks like the Pegasus Knight is busy training. As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen.
So Bridge of Elden, except there's no like
You could also say it's a place where the Fail Knot really shines, and in this sense, I think it suits the Golden Deer perfectly.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so literally, Fail Knot is just the staff item, but as a neutral special for Byleth. That's pretty cool. I like the staff item.
The last area is the Cathedral,
Oh!
only with some
There's
platforms you can
Rhea,
pass through. The guests appearing in the Cathedral are Sedith, Flame, and Rhea. There's Sedith, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flame. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. All three have character quirks related to their true identities.
Yeah.
I feel that Flame might be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that.
I know Rhea is.
This is a simple area of the stage. All it has are these platforms. Being the last area, it may be a place where some intense battles will be waged. It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side.
DLC team.
Alright, here we go, Joker.
Oh my god.
Joker!
Wait.
And Hero!
Oh, so he's killing everyone just so he can get the Byleth.
Gee, we really made a lot, huh? Banjo! By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But basically, I'm trying to defeat all 5 opponents with just the Professor gear.
Wow.
But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle, so I'm using anything I can get my hands on. It's not going to land that easily. Uh-oh, this is bad.
That's Japanese.
Bennigan's. I better keep my distance.
If you think about it, Robin's kind of like a professor.
I'll use this chance to attack.
Kinda.
Got him.
Oh, wait, that was English.
That's scary. He's invincible for a moment here.
Yeah, they're playing on English.
Lots of explosives. Ouch.
So I guess that's their English voice?
Perfect shielded that, huh?
I mean, I don't know what male
Good one.
voice is unless he's been playing in English the entire time.
If I do this, like this, or like so. No anti-air, huh? There, the soccer ball connected.
I mean, if you have items, I mean, it's, yeah, understandable. There's corn. I wonder why you didn't play as female corn.
Good, there's Mom.
It's like the more canonical corn.
You're in a good spot, Mom.
You're in a good spot, Mom.
Ah, I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses projectiles. At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not.
Right, that's true. They don't have projectiles like Byleth does. Or Robin.
I feel like the enemy might get this Smash Ball. See? They got it. But I mustn't give up.
Oh. Wow.
I can't waste this chance.
Wait, where'd the smash ball go?
There's
it's
another
right
Smash Ball. Yes, got it.
Oh. Good catch.
Now! What are you charging up for? There's still more.
So,
Whack!
the guest characters have voices,
Go on,
right?
you can take the hammer. But it's mine.
It's gonna counter, though.
Although, I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state.
Right.
I hit him!
You probably set the CPU to, like...
I was trying to fight using Byleth's abilities alone, but what matters is that I won. Good game. It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself. The end.
At the end. Song collection. Yeah. Ooh. Fire Emblem
Now,
seems
about
like
the
a great
additional
game.
music. Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages.
Yeah, makes sense.
There are already a lot of Fire Emblem tracks in the game. Our selection this time has been made taking those existing tracks into consideration. 11 songs are being added. This includes an arrangement of the main theme in both Japanese and English. I hope you'll enjoy these as well.
That's awesome.
We're also adding in a new spirit board.
It's so... Oh my god, it's so funny.
It includes the house leaders among some of the other popular characters.
I can't believe, she's...
Sothis is Legend class.
Sothis.
Also, there's a new classic mode route, a Heroic Legacy, which is designed to let you enjoy classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the series' history. The final battle is against Master Hand and Crazy Hand, but you'll find that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that.
Uh-oh.
Now for the Mii Fighter costumes. Please take a look.
Oh, it's gotta be Claude, Dimitri, and... right? Wait, but then how would they do that, though? Oh, Zelda? Oh my god! No way! Oh, I thought that was Assassin's Creed. Never mind. Well, I mean, it kind of looks like Assassin's Creed. I don't even know what that game is, though. Rabbits? Oh my god. Oh, it's just a hat. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Wow. Mega Man? Okay. Is it? Yeah, it's X. I wonder if they're gonna pull well, I guess Rabbits was kind of like the Sans of this round, maybe. A big that's awesome. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah. This is the sands. This is the sands of this round. Wow. That is really good. Wait, do they have money over there? Oh, and okay. Yeah. Definitely get that because it has the music. Wow. That's really cool. Oh wow, look at that.
はい、今回新
This
しい
time we're releasing a Cuphead costume.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added.
Yeah.
It's called Floral Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation. I hope you enjoy these as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it. And now, onto the Amiibo.
Yeah, there's Dark Samus and Richter.
The color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it? Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release on Friday, January 17th.
Oh wow, Friday. Well, I mean, wait, I think Nintendo already said that, right?
はい、そして今回
And now, with the addition of Byleth, the Fighter's Pass is finally complete.
Yeah.
The lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard, and Byleth. From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added. But I must say, this game has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to begin with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's awesome.
There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there?
Yeah.
When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play.
Yeah, Byleth is awesome. I like that. Oh. Byleth died.
As I stated, we'll continue to release more DLC fighters down the line. I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well, have a look.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, it is another 5. Oh my god. Wait, 6? 6. Wait, are they gonna stop at 6 then?
Looks like there will be 1 more fighter than last time. For this reason, we will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be available for pre-purchase on the date shown, so please keep an eye out. And now that it's official, we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed.
No, I mean, that's fine.
Like last time, I'd be very grateful if, despite that, you would understand why and purchased it.
No, I mean...
Furthermore, the new additions have already been decided.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them. But I still hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume. But this time, here's what we have.
Wait.
It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay, no, that looks pretty cool.
This will not be for sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
Wow. Uh-oh. Lastly.
It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest-selling fighting game in the world.
Wow.
Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world.
Is it a fighting game? I mean... Probably
Seems
not.
like Street Fighter II was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales.
Wow.
However, I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, or 6 to 7 if we really want to get into the weeds. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows? But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 1. Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game.
Yeah, no, it's more than just fighting.
I feel like it's become more than a fighting game, some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely.
Yes. That's why I love it so much.
Also, I feel a deep attachment to the 5 DLC fighters. The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up, but it was decided that there will be more DLC, which means no breaks for me. I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us. That's it. Thank you.
Bye, Sakurai. Oh, that was amazing. It was kind of an abrupt ending, though, but I mean, that was cool. Okay. I mean, a lot of people could have expected Byleth, and I didn't expect Byleth, so I'm pleased with that. So I guess, yeah, I mean, there are literally no rules for who can, or no patterns or anything. So, yeah, no, I mean, that's cool. I like that. They're gonna change the title, obviously, to Byleth. Oh man, but wow, thanks for joining me on this little 42-minute ride. Byleth is cool. I like them. I mean, I'm probably gonna play the male version just because, and why not? But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.